So who are the white people that have privilege?
I think every white person does, just because of the color of their skin, like naturally just comes with that.
Mm-hmm.
And also go back like a little bit before, I think that it kind of is like a white privilege to not have to think about white privilege.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's something that I don't have to worry about having, like if I'm going to be at a disadvantage because of the color of my skin, I don't have to think about that when many other people do.
But again, it seems like white people are thinking about it all the time.
Yeah, I guess it's like something that like I think about, but whenever I discuss it, I'm like, oh, I don't have experience on that. Like someone else
Okay.
can worry about it.
Okay, all right,
I'm not
I
gonna
got
fix
you.
the problem or worry about it. So
Okay.
but in reality, like everybody has to be part of
Okay.
counteracting it.
All right. Can one of you also? What do you think? Who are the people that have privilege?
I feel like I have privilege just being here, like going to a university like this. Like, I feel like it's thought of like the white people with privilege are like men who are like very wealthy, like big, like business, whatever.
Like power brokers. Yeah.
Yeah. And while that's definitely true, I feel like it's so much more like just about like the opportunities that we get, and like no matter like where you are in life, like there's just a lot of different things that it's easier for us, I guess, in a sense, in some ways than other types.
But it sounds like white people are thinking about this all the time, and with a tinge of guilt. You know, like if you're black or brown, if you're not white, you can think about it, and you have like there's almost like a righteous superiority or something like, yeah, we're going through this. But if you're white, it's like the way privilege is framed, it's like you're the source of the world's problems. Like there's a lot of guilt involved. So like I'm not really sure that's a privilege to not have to think about it, because you're all thinking about it all the time, every time you hear it. Nicole, could you respond to that? Dude, how'd I do on that? That's what you would say, right? Go ahead.
I feel like everyone in this room, and like there's different levels of privilege. Like
Okay.
what level, like I feel like everyone that has the ability to go to like a college or a university definitely has a different level of privilege that, as of like compared to someone who just graduated high school and is not like can't afford to go to a college.
Okay, but now go to white people.
Yeah, but like not all white people go to a university because they can't financially afford it.
But John said that all white people have privilege just on the basis of being white. Doesn't really matter. I asked who are the white people that have privilege, and John's like, oh, everybody. Except you. You don't have white privilege. You're good.
I feel like not all white people are like privileged with like the opportunities and like the lifestyles they live, but on the basis of like just like not like always, but like there is always going to be like that foundation of like
Okay.
just like looking at you, what you think and what you like perceive from a person.
Okay.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to affect everything, you know?
Okay. All right. Got you.
I think there's a difference too.
I like that.
You can have white privilege and class privilege.
Okay.
But you can have white privilege and not class privilge, like someone who's white but can't afford to go to
Let's
university.
see. Let's talk white privilege and not class privilege.
Yeah.
Let's just talk white privilege. When is privilege in operation for white people? Let's start right there. When is it in operation for white people? If you guys have a question too. In operation. When is white privilege operating? When is it happening for white people? Yeah. That's my question. But go ahead. When is it? I'm going to ask the white people. This is the kind of question I want you guys to ask.
I don't know. I was reading the other day. It was kind of a while ago, but it was like this dude said he was applying for jobs, and he has a very not like a name that's not John or Jacob or, and he wasn't hearing back a lot. So then he changed his name on his resume. I think he changed it to James, and he heard back like 30% more. So just like without seeing a face to the name, just having a white name gave him like the privilege of getting those opportunities to work for those companies, whereas having a non-white name didn't give him those opportunities. So I think that's like white privilege in in like the job force.
So like Manali. Yeah. But Maxes are.
Max would
Max
be-
is
yeah.
like, is that a
Right.
white name, Max? Dude.
So
Bro,
it's like
is Max a white
it just
name?
depends on the name.
Yeah, it is? Okay. What's your full name? Don't Maximilian? That's a white name. Just Max? That's what's on your birth certificate? Oh, damn, all right, that's cool. All right, Max. Okay, so white people, so when is it in operation, Nicole? When is your privilege in operation? When's it happening? When are you receiving privilege?
I feel like 24/7.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Can you give me a couple examples?
I mean, I've never gotten pulled over before. I'm just going to clarify that.
Yeah, but maybe you don't speed.
I've gotten pulled over. I
Yeah.
drive too fast.
Okay, go ahead.
I feel like
Well, hang on. But this actually isn't really a joke here, right? So we're going to be doing some science here a little bit, right? So if she goes through the world saying to herself, as a white person, hey, I've never gotten pulled over before, so man, that's an example of white privilege. It's like, no, hang on a minute. White people don't bend over too quickly. Like, don't fall over. Like, you know what I mean? Stand up straight sometimes, damn it. You know what I mean? Don't just buy into the narrative. Okay, go ahead.
so I feel like I wouldn't have to think twice about if I were to get pulled over based off of the stories that I hear in the news about people of color getting pulled over compared to white people getting pulled over.
Okay, stories you hear on the news. Okay, either of you have a thought on that? The stories she hears on the news about what happens to black and brown people when they get pulled over. Do you have a thought on that? I do. Do you know how many black and brown people, when they get pulled over, how many of them actually have problems with the police? It's stories you hear on the news. News is news because it's rare, right? Anything you read in the news, it becomes news, especially if it's on the front page. It's news because it rarely happens.